Good morning, all of you. Today we are going to read class 7th SST History, chapter number 4, The Mughals, part 1A. So, let us talk about the emperor who is Afghan rather than the Mongols. The emperor who captured the throne for the dynasty who captured the throne for the 15 years during the reign of Mughal emperor Humayun. So in this video I will explain you about the Sur emperor, that is the Sher Shah Suri, who established the Sur dynasty instead of Mughal dynasty. And in the previous video I had explained about Humayun, that Humayun was thrown from his uh, seat, and this led to the capture of the Sher Shah Suri, so in the battle of Chausa. So this led to the Sher Shah Suri to get the throne. So let us read in detail about the Sher Shah Suri. Sher Shah Suri, he was born probably in 1486 and he died in 1545. He at the time of his at the time when he took birth, his name was Farid Khan, and he was the founder of Sur Empire in the India with its capital in Sasaram in modern day Bihar. So he established his whole empire and he started the Sur dynasty. He was ethnic Afghan. His fathers and forefathers were Afghans, and during in the chapter number 3 I had explained the Sultanate period where the many Afghans were there. So their forefathers were from the Afghan, and they were having the good post in the Afghan nobility. So uh, he was the Afghan, and he took control of Mughal Empire in 1540, and after his death in 1545 his son Islam Shah became his successor. So he was there for approximately 5 years. He ruled over there. He served as a private before rising to become an commander in Mughal army under Babur. So when uh, when the Mughal Empire was there and Babur was there in the Mughal Empire, he started his job as a private. It was the lowest rank during that time, and soon after he became the governor of Bihar. How he became the governor of Bihar? Let's see. He was a brilliant strategist. He made the strategy for the expedition policies and how to fight and how to conquer the area. He proved himself as a gifted administrator as well as the capable general. So he always proving himself that he was a capable general, that he hold the whole army and conquest any of the area for any emperor. The name Sher means lion or the tiger in order of pronunciation in Persian. So when we use Persian, the word Sher, it means the lion or the tiger. Was conferred upon him for his courage. Means he took the courage, is strong, and he when he was young man he killed a tiger that leapt suddenly upon the king of Bihar. So how he came to known as, because the king of Bihar was there, and all of a sudden the tiger attacked on the king of Bihar, and he saved the king of Bihar barehandedly. That is why he was known as Sher or Sher Khan. Farid, Farid Khan started his service under the Bahar Khan Lahori, the Mughal governor of Bihar. So when he was started at the he started his job as a military man. He was under the Mughal governor of Bihar, Bahar Khan Lohani. After the death of Bahar Khan, Sher Khan became the regent ruler of the minor Sultan Jalal Khan. So after the death of Bahar Khan Lohani, his son was there. His name was Jalal Khan, and he was minor, means he was very young, and because of that he became the regent of the uh, Sultan Jalal Khan. Later, sensing the growth of Sher Shah power in Bihar, Jalal sought the assistance of Ghiyasuddin Mahmud Shah, the independent Sultan of Bengal. So Jalal Khan thought that he sensed that basically that after some time Sher Shah throw might throw the Jalal from his seat and become the king of Bihar. So Jalal Khan he asked the help of Ghiyasuddin Mahmud Shah. He was the Sultan of Bengal during that time. Ghiyasuddin sent an army under General Ibrahim Khan. So Ghiyasuddin Mahmud Shah he sent a general Ibrahim Khan to fight with the Sher Shah. But Sher Shah defeated the force at the Battle of Surajgarh in 1534. So this was the time when he defeated in the Battle of Surajgarh Ghiyasuddin, and forming an alliance with the Ujjaina Rajput and other local chiefdoms. So the small kingdoms, those who are living or ruling in those areas, he asked the help of them, also Ujjaina Rajput. So he took the help of all these alliances, and he achieved the complete control of Bengal. So he defeated the Ghiyasuddin, and he established, and also Jalal also, and he took the whole power in his own hand and removed the Jalal Khan and took complete control on Bihar. The Sher Khan attacked Bengal and defeated Ghiyasuddin Mahmud Shah. He defeated him again, but he could not capture the kingdom because of the sudden expedition of Emperor Humayun. So he already took control over Bihar, and he wanted to take control over Bengal, and he also defeated Ghiyasuddin Mahmud Shah. But the thing is that the Humayun, the emperor during that time of Mughal emperor, he was starting his expedition policy, and in that Humayun took control over the Bengal. On June 1539, Sher Khan faced Humayun in the Battle of Chausa and defeated him. This was the first battle where he defeated the Humayun, and assuming the title Farid al-Din Sher Shah. So he assumed one title there after defeating Humayun, Farid al-Din Sher Shah. So this Sher Shah has come from the Battle of Chausa. And then he defeated Humayun once again at the Battle of Kannauj in May 1540, and forced him out of India. So in the previous video I had explained that Humayun was forced out by the Sher Shah Suri. So this was the battle from where he was thrown out from the India. One Tarikh-e-Sher Shahi, it is the history of Sher Shah basically. It was written by Abbas Khan Sherwani. He was a Waqia Navish after the death of Sher Shah Suri under the Mughal Emperor Akbar around 1580. So up to 1580 he was there under the Akbar regime. So before Akbar he was under the Sher Shah, and he wrote a history of Sher Shah that was known as Tarikh-e-Sher Shahi, that gives the detailed information about the Sher Shah administration. Sher Shah was responsible for greatly rebuilding and modernizing the Grand Trunk Road. So it was said that the Grand Trunk Road, the biggest road during that time, it was constructed by the Sher Shah Suri. It was a major artery. Artery means the veins that flowing in our body. So this is known as artery, because artery, what it do, it take the blood, it makes the blood flow in our body. So this road what he constructed, it helped for the trade purposes, and that trade purposes or trade led to the increase of the revenue of the kings. So this is why it was considered as artery of the empire. So he constructed that Grand Trunk Road from Bangladesh to Afghanistan, and which was referred as Shah Rahe Azam, or the Great Road, in his time. So there you can see the map of India and his territory, and the neighbor of India, that there you can see It was started from from Kolkata up to the Afghanistan. This was the huge road that was built by Sher Shah Suri for the trade purpose. You can imagine during that time constructing this road was so not easy, but the Sher Shah Suri constructed this road very good. He also constructed caravans. Sarai means those who are moving from one place to another. If they wanted to take rest during the night, so for that they had built the sarai, the shelters basically for the travelers. He also built temples, mosques, and he during the side by side of the road of what he constructed, he also planted trees and to the both side of the road for the provide the shade to the shelters. He also dug the well to fetch the water, especially along the western section, means when you move toward the western area of the India. So he constructed those wells very much over there. And he also established the efficient postal system with mail being carried on relay of the horse rider. So mail system, as I explained in the previous video also, the postal system was so much at its high level during the Sur region or the Sher Shah region, because the posts were carried by the horse riders. So the horse rider was the fastest horse rider basically. They carried the post from one place to another. The Sur dynasty controlled the major territories of the Mughals from east to west. So what the Mughals had captured before the getting throne of Sur or the Sher Shah Suri, those territories were under the Sur dynasty. It was the area what they have covered the eastern Afghanistan up to the Bangladesh. So this was also a huge area that was conquered by the Sur dynasty. Establishing a stronghold over the throne for nearly 15 years, approximately the Sur dynasty was there for 15 years. The Sur empire also systemized administrative reforms, promoted economic growth, and create a trustworthy relationship with the public. So this is very important. Creating a relationship with the public or the subject of the for the ruler is very important. He also promoted the economic growth. So how he had promoted the economic growth, there you can see in the next slide. He promoted the economic growth, and economic growth definitely led to the expend of his revenue, means the treasury of the empire, and administrative reforms. So how to administrate, how to rule the country, those reforms were also took by the Sher Shah Suri or the Sur dynasty. Military achievement of the Sher Shah Suri. So what he achieved by conquesting the several areas, let's see some of the glimpse. Like encounter of the fort of Chunar by the Sher Shah's diplomatic surrender. So this was the first encounter where the fort of Chunar, that is under the Sher Shah, but the Mughal Empire has took again that Chunar, that is in Uttar Pradesh. The fort of Chunar, it is in Uttar Pradesh, and this was under the Sher Shah. But after some time, this fort of Chunar was get into the hand of the Mughal Empire. This was the Sher Shah diplomatic surrender. He surrendered himself. But at the Battle of Chausa and Kannauj, he defeated Humayun twice, and Sher Shah won over the Humayun. So with the victory of Kannauj, Sher Shah became the ruler of Delhi, Agra, and Sambhal, Gwalior, etc. So these were the area which is under the Sher Shah Suri basically. And this victory ended the rule of Mughal Empire for 15 years. So this victory has led to the Sur dynasty be at the throne, and Mughals had to move out. The Battle of Surajgarh, this was also the fight that he defeated the combined forces of Lohani chief of Bihar and Mahmud Shah of Bengal and Surajgarh. So this I explained that the Jalal Khan was there and Mahmud Shah was there, the ruler of Bengal. So he defeated both of them, and also this led to the Bihar came under his hand. Invasion of Bengal, He plundered Bengal several times by the capturing Gaur, the capital of Bengal. There, that time the capital of Bengal was Gaur, and he forced the Muhammad Shah to seek refuge with Humayun. So this the invasion of Bengal that I had explained in the previous slide, that Mahmud Shah was helping the helping the Mahmud Shah, helping the Jalal Khan, but he was also defeated by the Sher Shah and the capturing of the Bengal. But after he took the shelter with Humayun, and Humayun helped him. Conquest of Punjab. So the after he immediately conquered the Delhi throne, he also defeated the brother of Humayun, Kamran, and he took the Punjab in his control. Suppression of Khokhars. This was the community, and this they also rebelled against the Sher Shah, where they were living in the region of the Indus and river Jhelum, and they were also defeated by the Sher Shahs. Conquest of Malwa, the Madhya Pradesh region, Bihar and Odisha region. Basically, the ruler of Malwa had not helped the Sher Shah in his struggle with Humayun. So that is why he attacked the Malwa and annexed his empire. So this was the also important thing when he seek the help against the Humayun, but the ruler of Malwa did not help him, and when he get the throne, he attacked on the Malwa. Conquest of Raisen. This is also in the current day in Uttar Pradesh. A Rajput principality. It was also besieged by the Sher Shah Suri. It was took control over the Sher Shah Suri, and Rajput rulers. Purana Mal or Purana Mai entered into an agreement with Sher Shah that if he surrendered, his family would not be harmed. However, Sher Shah did not honor this agreement. So when he attacked on Raisen, so the Rajput ruler that during that time, the king of the Raisen, he was Purana Mal or Purana Mai. He agreed with the Sher Shah that if he surrendered, his family would not be harmed. But Sher Shah did not follow the agreement. He led the Rajput's family in the critical condition after defeating the ruler of Raisen. Conquest of Multan and Sindh, both it is in Pakistan and Afghanistan. So it was also conquest by the Sher Shah Suri. Conquest of Marwar. This was also under this. He brought the Marwar under his control by Forrest later, showing the dissensions in the army of the Maldev, the ruler of Mewar. So during the ruler of Mewar, Maldev was there, and he started the battle against the Sher Shah Suri, but the Sher Shah started rumor and sent a wrong letter in the military camp of the Maldiv army. This was show the dissension. They started thinking against to each other, and this led to the won of the battle by the Sher Shah Suri. Conquest of Kalinjar. This was the last battle in which he got that he died, and during a bomb was blast in front of him, and he got injured during that battle and during that blast, and after some time he got death. He won the Kalinjar battle, and he in that battle he got the injured and he died. Military administration. So the military administration, he was though I explained that he was skilled and proficient administrator, so he divided it empire into provinces, but he held the authority of administration, and he exercised the power for the benefits of the people. So though he was have the all power regarding the administration, but he done a lot of things for the people. Each administrative branch was in the Sher Shah personal supervision. So what the branches he had divided, it was under his supervision. He held the all thread of policy and civil military command in his hand. So whatever the administrative policy is to be there, that all policy was under the Sher Shah. His minister had no authority to initiate any policy or propose any change in the way of transaction or administrative setups. So whatever the setups were made by the Sher Shah Suri, this cannot be initiate. They can this policies were not changed by the his minister, or they cannot initiate the new ones. So this was the strong thing that is done by the Sher Shah. They were, however, in charge of the routine work of the administration on daily basis. So if it doesn't matter, they were the part of that ministry what they have get, but they did not make any change, or they did not start any new things. Like the Sultanate period, Sher Shah also appointed four important ministers, which were given like Diwane Wazarat. This was the department who look after the matter of financial or the finance and revenue. The Diwane Arij, it was the department of military, and Diwane Risalat, it was the department of royal orders. So whatever the royal orders, it was given by the Sher Shah, the implementation as well as uh, the work the orders were working well or not, those things are under the supervision of Diwane Risalat. Diwane Insa, this was the department which took the important decision on the religious matter, foreign affairs and judiciary. So this was the department who had the authority of taking the decision on the religious matter as well as the foreign affairs with the foreign or the other rulers, those who are living in the India, as well as judicial system is under the Diwane Insa. Sher Shah re-established law and order across his empire with severe punishment for the criminals. So this was very good thing that was under the Sher Shah, that he gave the severe punishment to the criminals, those who found the guilty. Also robbers, and also the Jamidars, those who disobeying the government. So whosoever the Jamidars were there during at the village level, they were also get punishment if they disobey the government policy. So this was the good thing that was initiated by the Sher Shah for his administration. Provincial administration. So provincial, the empire was divided among 47 separate sarkars, and which were further subdivided into pargana. So he divided his whole administration units into 47 units basically, that were called as sarkar, and sarkar were divided into pargana. Officers include the munsifs for the revenue collection. So the officers who were appointed by the Sher Shah were known as munsifs, and they are responsible for revenue collection. The amirs are responsible for the civil cases. The qazis or Mere Adl were responsible for criminal cases. Muqaddams, they chase and arrest the culprits. So they were work as a police. Their work is to chase and arrest the culprits. The administrative structure of each pargana included its individual law keeper called Ami. So Amil is there, his responsibility is to keep the law in the pargana level, and he was also worked as a treasurer account keeper. So his responsibility is big to keep the all those record of treasure and account as well. The Sarkar, the higher administrative unit, as I told, had the officers like Sikdare Sikandaran, so, and Munsife Munsifan. So their responsibility is to supervise the whole work of Pargana office. So this is the responsibility of Sikandam and Sikandaran and Munsife Munsifan. And he also do the rotation of officers. So rotation officer means that one particular person got one responsibility, and after some time he get the another one, and that responsibility goes to the another one. So this was the also the policy that was started by Sher Shah, that it will check the performance as well as that the person is not making the person is not malpracticing of his power. So this was done by the Sher Shah Suri. Local administration. Sher Shah improved the law and order situation by making local people responsible. So he made the local people responsible. Basically, he appointed the local people for the for the local level administration, because he believed that the local people will be there, so he will take the things very seriously. So he appointed two person at with equal rank at the Pargana at Sarkar level, which divided the supervisory function and hence ensured the stability of power. So for that he appoint two person at the Pargana and Sarkar level both with the equal rank. So this ensures that the functions will be supervised nicely, and also it makes the stability of the power into the both of hand as well as Sesha. At the local level, there were village panchayat and jamidar who were the responsible for setting up disputes between the people and punishing the guilty. So jamidar are the responsible for setting dispute. If there is dispute between two people or the two persons, so this dispute is to be settled by the jamidar, and those who are found guilty, they can get the punishment by the jamidar. And all these details are to be reported to the Qazi for keeping the record against those persons. The network of road that I explained, it was restored by Sher Shah, which include the road from the Sonargaon in Bangladesh to the Indus in the west, that I had explained, the Grand Trunk Road. And he also connect the roads of the Lahore and Multan, Agra, Jodhpur, Chittor, and with the ports of Gujarat. So why he had done these things, why he constructed the road that led to the Gujarat ports, because he wanted to ensure the trades are in the good stage and make the empire strengthened by the collecting revenue from those areas. For the convenience of the travelers, sarais and inns were built roughly at the every 8 km along the road. So as I explained, sarais, that is the shelter for the travelers, it was built every 8 km along the road, and also the government maintained them from the revenues of the surrounding villages. So the sarais were maintained by the revenues which were collected by the nearby villages which was built near the sarais. The sarais were also the centers of post, that is the dark chowki, that helped to keep the Sher Shah in being informed from the minutes activities in the empire. So the post that I explained about the horse rider, so horse rider were there, they were keep the information, and the information is to be reached to the Sher Shah. Every single minute information was reaching reaching to the Sher Shah during his time. So this ensured that there any nobles or the minister, those who got the in charge of that particular areas, that they do not rebel against the Sher Shah, and if they wanted, or if they are making plan for that, so he can suppress them. So this was the good thing that was done by the Sher Shah. Revenue administration, during his rule, that every king need revenue, because the revenue is to maintain his army as well as the kingdom. So the head of the revenue and the finance administration was called the Diwane Wazarat or Wazir. So Wazarat is responsible for collecting the divine revenue as well as finance. He also exercises supervisory power over the other ministers. So Wazir is responsible for supervising the other minister as well. So however, Sher Shah took keen personal interest in the abstract of income and expenditure of the kingdom, and also made inquiries regarding the finance and dues from the Pargana. So sometimes Sher Shah also took interest or about the income and expenditure. So how much is revenue collected and how much the money was expend or the spent by the ministry or the empire, Sur empire. So this was also supervised by the Sher Shah by Sher Shah himself. The land was classified into three categories on the cultivation for the calculating the revenue based on yield and measurement of land. So basically, the land was classified into three categories on the basis of yield, how much they produce basically. So on that basis, the land was classified and the taxes were imposed on them. Scheduled of rate were put up that fix the revenue of lands in the term of cash. So these fixation of revenue, that all the details of revenue were mentioned in the patta. So what the peasant had to pay, that is, and what amount of land they are having, those details were given in the pattas. And kabuliyat is what they have received from them. So kabuliyat is the details which gives that the how much land the peasants have and how much the revenue they have to give to the government. He established a famine relief fund. This was also an important thing, that he established a famine relief fund. Sometimes the famine during that time, it was so common because the agriculture was the agriculture that time was depend upon the rain, and if rain is not there, the famine situation occurs. So the famine relief fund also created by the Sher Shah, and this was maintained by 2.5 for the future purpose by the peasants. So 2.5, this was the production of per biga, the per biga what they produce, and that production, from that production 2.5% of that production was given as the famine relief fund, that the during the time of famine they can utilize those revenue as well as the production what they have produced, that were given to the empire. Standardization of the coins of gold, silver and copper. So gold coins were also, it was known as the mohar, silver was known as rupiah, and copper was known as dam. So this was also done by the Sher Shah, and he also introduced the standard weights and measures. So he introduced the standard weights and measure, that there is no malpracticing in the trade. Tolls were collected twice. Tolls, or the customs that I explained, that tolls was collected twice, because one time when you are entering to the country, entering to the empire of the Sur, and at the time of sales, if you have brought something and if you wanted to sell something, so during that time also the tolls were took by the revenue department of the Sur. Military administration. So military administration, the Sur Empire had the cavalry, infantry, elephants and artillery. So artillery is what the weapons, cannons and what other weapons they use for the fight purposes, those were uh, under the artillery. So this the 4 kind of the large army was there with the Sur dynasty. Also the soldiers were recruited by daily by dispensing their tribal lives. So instead of giving taxes by the tribal people, they provide the soldiers, and the soldiers were recruited as they provide the men for the soldiers, and those men were trained as a soldiers for the Sur dynasty. He also set up the system of Dag and Chehra or the Hulia. So this system was also established, introduced by Alauddin Khilji, that the description of branding of the horse, and the Chehra, that is the full description of the soldiers. And he strived to keep his army efficient. He himself, Sher Shah Suri himself took the keen interest of the recruiting of the soldiers and paying them, and for the training purposes. So he himself took the keen interest for all those things. Sur architecture. During the rule of Sur dynasty, there were several things which were made, like the Rohtas fort, that is in Pakistan. It was also considered as the UNESCO World Heritage Site. Several structures like Rohtasgarh Fort in Bihar. This was the fort that was built by the Sur dynasty. Masjid in Patna in the honor and remembrance of his reign, the Sher Shah Suri Masjid. So this masjid was also built in Patna. A new city of Bhera was built in Pakistan. This was new city, and this city also had the Grand Sher Shah Suri Masjid. A mosque at Purana Kila, Delhi, that is called the Kila-e-Kunha mosque, that is also built in 1541. So these are some of the architecture which was built by the Sur Empire and the Sher Shah Suri. Sher Shah Suri was died on 22 May 1545 during the siege of Kalinjar Fort. So Kalinjar Fort, that is in the Bundelkhand, and again the Rajput of Mahoba. So Rajput of Mahoba were there, and they have the capture. They have the control of Kalinjar Fort. So Sher Shah wanted to take control over the Bundelkhand, and that's why he attacked on the Kalinjar Fort. With all tactics to subdue this fort failed, and Sher Shah ordered the wall of fort to be blown up by the gunpowder. So uh, he tried a lot to control over the fort, but he was failed. So he ordered his military to blown up the walls by the gunpowder, by bombing on the walls. But he himself seriously wounded at the result of explosion of the mine. So one bomb was blast during the um, during the time of what he ordered to blown off the walls, damage the walls of the forts. So during that time the one bomb was got exploded, and he was highly injured, and after some time he died. After his death, he was succeeded by his son Jalal Khan, who took the title of Islam Shah Suri. His mausoleum was at the Sher Shah Suri tomb, it was known as, and it is in the Sasaram, Bihar, at the town from where the Grand Trunk Road was started, at the middle of the artificial lake. So this was the there you can see the picture of the Sher Shah Suri tomb. This was in the middle of the artificial lake. So this is the thing. This is the another revision video what I had put. I hope this will help you a lot. Thank you, sir.